And it's the 7th of February, it's the Police 10, the second running of this event. Highly organised and highly efficient. There's over 500 runners entered. It's a bright, crisp-like early spring day. Temperature though is pretty low, only about 3 degrees centigrade. And there's a running clock on this race, and it's quickly become very popular, and runners have come from all over Yorkshire to run in this event. It's a fast, flat course, so we can expect some very good times. And the race is underway. There's very little wind today. With these cool, almost ideal conditions, we can expect a ferocious pace. Yeah, so you can see in the distance the front of this field, 500 strong. It's a little early yet to pick out any early leaders, but just to the left of the picture you'll see the police motorcyclists. It's a fairly rare event in races, but I suppose with this being the Police 10 or Inglemire 10, it's to be expected that we get the full treatment. So the race is nearing its the first mile, 1 mile down, 9 to go, and in the group there we see of course the Ferriby 10 winner, Jim Dingwall, Brian Ward as well up there, and Kevin Tolchard, 248. Kevin's been training very well out in Sheffield. I don't know how he'll take to this flat course. And the runners are all moving along at a very nice pace at the moment. There doesn't seem to be any distress, nor should there be at this early stage. Rob Robinson, 472, ran a very canny race in the Ferriby 10, only seconds off his best after a slow start. So, well, I don't think this road is closed to traffic, but it might as well be. There's not going to be much moving down with this large field passing through now. Someone's called sub 6 minutes. We are actually at the mile mark. I hadn't appreciated that. I think that was more by good luck than judgment, but we're exactly on the 1 mile mark now, and the time is 6 minutes 15. So a lot of these runners still moving at a very good pace, and it meant the leaders went through in about 4:50. So it's heading up for an excellent race. There's a little bit of breeze just along this road here, but I don't think it's going to slow the runners over much. You see, it's still cold enough for tracksters and the occasional lycra tights. It's a fairly raw day, but thankfully the wind's not that strong. Well, most of these runners here, if they weren't running this 10 mile, they'd be out on a long run. So they will all be familiar to the idea of a longish run on a Sunday morning, so what better than to combine it with a social event like the Police 10. as the dog gets... it's got a number on, I think, the dog, has it? But, so the clock is now showing just under 8 minutes, and nearly the whole field's gone through.
Set off before the ambulance, John.
So the field now is all but gone through, and it's varied for the first mile from 4:50 down to about 8:20. He's running alongside Ian McCoy. Now 3:03. So these runners are on 54-minute pace. Runners here are well inside 54-minute pace now. And you can see it's as flat as a pancake, this course. And in the far distance you can probably see the lead car. Mike Lake there comes into picture, and we're amongst the 52-minuters now. Ian Greer there's battling out with another lad from Sheffield, 468. Is David Oldfield actually. Kevin Tolchard there, 248. He's showing signs of strain, but he's having a great run. He's in the first 10, not far behind Mark Smith. Brian Ward there had a great run in the Ferriby 10, suffering a bit on this flat course. Don Weagle there, 306. Also did well in that other race. And now here's the group of four, including Jim Dingwall and George Baker. But right in front, number 286. Right in front is Jim Bailey of Bingley, and we've just hit the 4 miles mark, and he's going through that in under 20 minutes, 19 minutes 53. But his lead is a tenuous one. It's only about 15 metres, and there's 4 experienced runners waiting to pounce. So I certainly have heard of Roy Bailey, but not Jim Bailey. I don't know if there's any connection there, but you can see the field, and you can see the leader's pumping his arms furiously. He's either quite tired or he's got to be very fit to maintain this kind of drive that he's putting in. He's putting more action into our videos than most. And in the next group we have I think it's Peter Saint of North Shields Polytechnic, if my numbering is correct. And there's an excellent shot of the leader. The leader who is actually stretching out now. And so there goes the leader. He's got a lead now of about 50 metres. But the next group are tightly bunched together and working, well, not working together, but certainly when you get a group like that, it is easy to run with them. And isolated on his own is Don Weagle of Askin. Told me last time he's desperately trying to find his form that won him the Brid Half Marathon recently. And in the next group, Brian Ward's picked up a bit. He is a doughty fighter, is Brian. And Mark Smith there, number 157, is picked up. And he's past Kevin. Kevin's now running on his own. But he's going to keep this going. He's looking fit. Dave Oldfield there of Sheffield is definitely the first bet. 182 is Mike Lake. Mike Lake is isolated. Mike Lake is often in that no man's land. Never quite on the front, but he's in that no man's land between him and a comfortable group to run with. The 266 West Yorks. 266, we'll give you a name check in a minute.
Graham Tolley.
Graham Tolley.
West Yorkshire Police.
West Yorkshire Police, of course, so you should have a safe passage today. Dave Pratt in the middle of that group there with Pete Rawnsley, two great 10-milers from the past. Former winners of the York 10 in the mid-70s. They're in this race and they're keeping themselves fit. Dave Pratt, of course, is the record holder for the East Hole 20. 235 there, Hull Springhead. Doing very well. Two Springhead runners there, very well placed.
Jameson 235.
Paul Jameson. McCoy goes through. 450. Running through now. Howard Beasley, 254. And now 256, Shane Page. And Alan Fowley. George Slater. George is looking very easy and ominously easy, as he is pointed out by Alan Fowley for extra media coverage. These runners are all well in the mid-50s now, for time-wise. And so it's very quiet here. You must note that there's usually lots of sound of traffic, but this is a very quiet country road. And Rob Robinson is pattering his way through.
Come into view.
Number 55 there. Give you a name check.
Oh, that's the one that's cut off.
Unfortunately, the number's cut off on number 55. There's Carol Wild, the First Lady. Number 976. And Rod Train there, 351. And Bernie Char there in the red long sleeve top, number 263.
That's not move.
Old runners never die, they just fade away.
Don't you move?
Yes, please.
After this one, Colin, all right.
Are you on danger money? And so we had a little bit of excitement there with the trying to manoeuvre our way through the field and through a few other cars at the same time. So it is rapidly approaching the halfway mark. halfway, and you usually say in a 10 mile that most of it's sorted out now. Providing the runners are fit, the positions should remain largely unchanged from now to the finish.
Are you alright now, Colin?
And another face from the past coming into view is Pete Deering with the headband on, number 210. Pete Deering's currently quite fit, looking for a good London marathon. And as we approach the 5 mile mark, 29:30, so Carol Wilder's going through in under 6 minute mile pace.
Alright.
She's a vet, of course. And Rob Train there, another runner who's seen more races than most people, have had hot dinners. And so what tends to happen now is that the gaps tend to widen out, but the positions stay very much the same. And the wind is actually quite a cold one. I think it must be veering towards the east, because it's quite cutting now. It's quite a cutting breeze. And Rob Robinson there is well, he's got his eyes set on his PB, but he looks like at the moment he's on about 57. But he's running consistently. And so as we manoeuvre through the streets of Cottingham, we're now in the second half. We are on the only thing representing a slope in the whole of the race. Must be a 1 in about 3,000 or something slope. But the flat courses are okay, but they are relentless in the kind of pace you have to set up. There's no change of muscles as you get with the slight hills. And Kevin Tolchard is actually in the race this year. I know he's had a sneak preview of last year's, giving himself an idea of what the course was like again. And we have George Slater's now dropped back off Alan Fowley. Now this is news. This is the kind of news that makes journalists of us all. He has dropped back off the old man, and he's no longer posturing. Alan Fowley, he's seriously intent on beating George. So we will have to see. The 450. It's the race sheet's on about 28 pages, so it's not easy to find a number quickly. 256 there. Here, McCoy, make sure I'm right on that one. Sorry, Bob Mahoney, I will get it right in the end. Sorry, Bob. Yeah, I think we will. The leaves are well up there now. Police motorcycle outriders. The harbingers of this 10-mile race, and the time showing is 37 minutes, and James Bailey still seems to be in the lead. He is driving, punching his arms. As I said, he had to be very fit, and it looks like he is very fit. And when a man's that fit, he takes some stopping. And it looks like he's now got a significant lead. His lead now, I would suggest, is over 100 metres. 100 metres, and Jim Dingwall's broken away from that group. And it's familiar territory for Jim. He's chased down this race a few times in the Cottingham 5, but he's broken away from that group and he's now chasing the leader. George Baker there, 482, I'll check his name shortly. George Baker there is in 5th place. And then this chap is Paul Saint, I believe.
Malcolm Patterson is the 482.
Malcolm Patterson of which club?
Dark Peak Fell Runners.
Dark Peak Fell Runners up near Sheffield. So he's doing well on a flat course here, but he's fit, you see. Don Weagle there, back in about 7th or 8th place. Then there's a couple of runners here, number 26 and number 58.
26 is...
20, sorry, 20.
Is Nicholas Jobson.
Oh, Nick Jobson. Yeah, Nick Jobson we know well, of course.
56, can't get him.
He's well known as a half marathoner. And this next group here is headed by Brian Ward and Mark Smith. So City of Hull well represented again. There seems to be something of a revival going on. And Dave Oldfield, I think there from Sheffield, is next. And Ian Grewer. And Ian Grewer's picked up well, and Kevin's now, well, he's in the top 15, that's for sure. He's straining a little bit, but he's staying there and he's doing well. And he's got Mike Lake just behind him. He's in very good company. Kevin is not a renowned 10-miler. He's more a middle distance. I would suggest his ideal distance might be about 5 miles. Yeah. Okay. So we must now head up the field so we can see if there's going to be any developments. His early efforts, and he's now, Mike Lake has overtaken him. He must concentrate now. He is fit enough to do it. He must try and keep himself together because he's running a great 10-mile race. So great to see him back running a race of this distance with such determination. Now Mark Smith there is taking up that lead. There's 40 minutes 24 on the clock. So there's only about 11 or 12 minutes for Mark to run. And there's only 12 or 13 minutes for Kevin to keep himself together. Kevin, that's last year's commentator, produced and catalogued by Colin Martin of Priory Videos.
On your right now, Colin.
And the next group here is Nick Jobson again. Number 59, who is on the second sheet, which is difficult for us to get a number. We'll have a look. 306 there is Don Weagle, of course. That's Alan Dent, actually. Two former club colleagues of Kevin Tolchard. So he'll know them and they'll know him. Maybe. There's a high revving car there. As once again our fearless crew bring you the pictures that matter. Peter Saint, of course, North Shields Polytechnic. He's isolated now, but I think he's safe in that position of about 6th place. 5th place, shall I say. 4th place is George Baker, of course. George is showing admirable running form. Malcolm Patterson there, Dark Feet Fell Runners, in 3rd place. Jim Dingwall as we turn into Inglemire Lane. And as we come up to 9 miles, I'd suggest it's going to be outside 50 minutes, but not a lot outside 50 minutes. 45 minutes 35 for the leader. It looks like James Bailey has won it. He's got a fairly substantial lead there. That even a remarkable sprint by Jim couldn't close, I would suggest. So as we wait the finisher, 50 minutes is just up. So that means the leader's here any moment, and we expect, yes it is, it's James Bailey. James Bailey of Bingley, still with that same energetic style that we've witnessed throughout the race, taking this second 10-mile race, Inglemire 10 in 50 minutes 38 seconds. And Jim Dingwall's safely secured in 2nd spot, and Jim has run a second great 10 in almost as many weeks. 50 minutes 52, 50 minutes 54 there. And another great run by George Baker, 51 minutes and 10 seconds. George, who's lost a lot of training in recent weeks, has run very well again.
Sorry, Colin. Can I give you an indication? First, please.
Malcolm Patterson there was 3rd place.
For Eleanor Adams or Carol Borrell, I would think.
Paul Saint here now of North Shields Polytechnic, and Nick Jobson's following him up. You can see the time in Nick, 51:38, 51:40. Nick Jobson has run pretty well, and these lads are just breaking 52. Don Weagle there, 51:54. 59. Alan Dent, we believe. Got Bladen. Yeah.
No, we don't.
And Mark Smith comes through now. Mark Smith's running 52:30. And Ian Greer's just out-sprinted Mike Lake. Dave Oldfield here's won the Vets Prize without any doubt. Dave Oldfield of Sheffield. Brian Ward just coming into view. Brian Ward of City of Hull. 53 minutes. And we anxiously wait to see how Kevin's held on. And Kevin's piling round here. He's running a great race. This is a great 10-mile race for Kevin. The 4:49 just finishes, and Kevin's storming home. He'll be very, very pleased with this run. 53 minutes and 23 seconds. Good run, Kevin. I think that makes him the fastest 10-miler on Runner Care staff at the moment. Pete Rawls here, he's been a couple of useful Sheffield lads here. So the times have been not that fast considering what I thought was nearly ideal conditions, or the weather's probably a little too cold for really fast running. There's some excellent performances coming out here. That was very good, and Dave Pratt there, 54.12. And that's 55 minutes, still under that. 55 minutes, a very good time for 10 miles. Phil Gross comes through, just coming through to the finish, and Phil must be in with a chance for Vet's prize. He hasn't won it, but I can't remember anyone else between him and who won it. 55.12, very good run. Mike Jackson here of Hull Spartan, one of their very few distance runners. Hey, you want to shout through night? Yeah. Number 2. Number 256 there coming in, Robert Mahoney, City of Hull. 171, Howard Jeffrey from Valley Striders, followed by 450. Michael Burbeck from Berkeley Athletics Club. And the runners coming thick and fast now. George Baker on all fours. Shane Page just coming in. Alan Foley coming up, bringing up the centre of the field, making a dive for the line. Facial expressions say it all. Good comment, Alan, while you're walking past. Number 24, Stuart Altoff, Grimsby Harriers, followed by 75. We haven't got a number on 75. 19, Aaron Walton from Riddings, thank you. How are we doing? Oh, nice, there you go. And so the clock has shown 58 minutes. Rob Robinson is finishing now in 58.21. Probably be slightly disappointed with that. And so you can see the clock car now giving the times as people finish. And I would say that once again it's been a highly efficient, well organised race. Very good finishing arena here. Eleanor Adams, I believe that is, 969. Tremendous run. Looks like she maybe has won the ladies' race there. I think that's Eleanor Adams, world famous mega distance runner. And in second place is Carol Wild. She's broken 60 minutes as well. Two remarkable lady runners there.
What was it? 960?
969, Eleanor Adams. We can't find a number, but I'm pretty sure that's who it was. As I say, she is. She actually outran a man in a very famous run. So the first two ladies well under the hour. And I just see coming through the distance there is Peter Deering. He'll be pleased with this run. He's now about 43 or 44, just over the hour, and he's obviously in fine form for the London Marathon. Just finishing. He's already got his headband on. So we're just waiting to see who the third lady might be, and her number is, we just check, I think she's from Grimsby, number is 940. Yes, she's a Grimsby runner, just finishing now.
Kim Bennett.
Kim Bennett just finishes in third place for the lady in 61 minutes, and Denise just finishes there. Denise Baker just finishes in fourth place, 61 minutes. So first four ladies in about 61 minutes. It's been a good competition for them.
(947) was Eleanor Adams.
Eleanor Adams, we've just agreed, was the winners. Another lady just finished in fifth place, number 937, 61 minutes 38.
937, Jackie Smith, Dane Park, fellow runners.
Jackie Smith of Dane Park, fellow runners. So it's been a fine ladies competition, this. So we've had a keen competition, and the winner of today's race then was James Bailey of Bingley Harriers, and he stuck out from 3 or 4 miles and he won it from the front. And he didn't win it easily, he was under pressure all the way, but he still won it. Jim Dingwall, City of Hull, was second. And as we come to the end of this film, we hope you've enjoyed the film, if not the commentary.